Ooh, hello there, my fellow miners and crafters. Good times with Scar here, and welcome back to the wonderful worlds of hermits and crafting. And we're above ground today, taking one deep breath of that crystal clean HermitCraft air before we descend into the community build, because today is a big one. We are going to shape the cliffs so that we can eventually open this place up for the hermits to come down and start working on their shops. Did you see that acrobatical flight skills from Scar there? That is pretty good, especially with considering the amount of lag today. But like I said, we are going to shape all of these cliffs. So looking at level 1 and level 2 here, I am just so excited to see this area shaped. And my main goal, like I said, getting the cliffs all sorted out here, and hello guys, hope you're doing awesome, is to get these things all set up, and then maybe, just maybe if we have time, to landscape the area, but that might be just a little bit too much. We'll see. I've set aside 2 full days to work on this, plus a little extra today. It's at nighttime, so I'm just gonna get the intro rolling, get everything going. So like I said, I've got 2 full days to work on this, and I think it's going to be amazing. So man, I don't even know where to even start with you guys, because I'm incredibly excited, because I'm ready to work on some other projects. I'm also ready to see what this thing finally looks like, because we've been working on it for a very long time. So this is the main cliff 1. So this right here, level 1. So somebody will build their shop into this wall, but we're going to decorate it, right? We've got to make it look nice to start with. So we've got a blank slate, a very stale, very kind of symmetrical look as it is now, but that is perfect for, you know, inputting your creativity onto a canvas. So this is the easiest way I can work, is when something's like super clean like this, it's easy for me to just visualize this as a, oh, that was so beautiful. Oh, he just died. Oh, that little slime. Oh, that brought so much warmth and joy to my heart. Anyway, this just makes it so I can easily input my creativity onto this. So what we're gonna do is we're going to bow out the actual rock surface like that to give it that kind of natural cliffside feel. And then of course we're gonna build up the edges a little bit. And like I said, we're just gonna be working with smooth stone to start out with this, and we'll see if we can get the landscaping today in this episode, but we'll get that all installed, push that back. And of course on this section over here, we're gonna do the same, you know, carve that out. Now we do have these extra shapes down here. See this extra like room? Like, what are we gonna do here? And I think thinking about that, like I've been spending hours down here just staring, and that's okay. Sometimes you gotta do your Minecraft stare. We've talked about Minecraft stares before, when you just look out over something and you just slowly visualize what it will be. And sometimes nothing will come and you'll just be like, wow, that was a waste of time. But sometimes things do come. But they haven't come yet, because I'm still not sure what to do with this section yet. But maybe right here, we kind of bow down the shape here a little bit. And I'm thinking maybe there'll be like a little waterfall here, or maybe there'll be a giant rock sculpture in this section, because I don't want this to be super, super symmetrical all the way around. It's gotta have that natural feel to fit in with the actual structure of the tree. And if you noticed, every one of the root structures is done. We're actually almost done all the way up to this level. So that's really exciting to see. The tree is almost done. Of course, I still need to add the hardened clay all the way around and spiralize it around, but for the most part, I've got almost all the acacia installed, all the cobbles, all the andesite, which is really cool. And as you can tell, like, I'm kind of excited here, because this has been a huge project and a lot of undertaking, and to see it come to completion like that just fills my scout heart with so much joy. But yeah, I don't know, guys. This is going to be a big one. Why don't we just jump into super fast build mode and kind of come up with some designs, figure out what we're going to do today, and then we'll meet back up once we've kind of established a section. And I'd really hope to have flown there, but that's okay. I don't need to fly. It's okay. I only need 3 bars to build, and that's okay. Anyway, my friends, like I said, let's hit that super fast build mode, establish a design, and let's meet back up. super fast build mode, and we now have some absolutely beautiful cliffs assembled and ready to go, which I am very, very pleased with. So this is just the structural bedrock of the design, and we're going to come through here with our pathway design we worked on prior, and of course our landscaping that is already installed down here. We'll take some of that and add it up here, but just setting down the foundation that we have now is super inspiring. So let's dive into the details. Now, these are our shops, and they're interesting. So each one of these little spots right here is a facade for a particular shop, and we'll get into those in just one second. I want to show you this. We've got a really cool spot for a waterfall. So right here, I want to add these little things that just break up the shops, right? So they're not all in a, a perfect lined up row. So this is a little waterfall, it'll flow down here, and I'll have a little stream and then down into another one. And the more waterfalls in the area, the better. So it shows it's really feeding the main river down below the tree. And this is going to be really cool. Anyway, we're also going to build like a little archway that goes over the stream. I think it's going to be really, really nice. So let's start down here at the back here. So this is a shop facade right here. This is actually a really cool one because it's actually fairly large. So when somebody builds right here, they want to build their facade, which then the shop, of course, goes behind it, and they can do whatever they want within the shop, but the facade will have a general theme that will run out throughout the entire build. And of course, they can cut out some of this stone up here so they have more room, of course. And they could even like do a little something back here. This is a really good plot, even though it's kind of hidden. It's probably one of the better spots. And of course, here is another one. So that is 2. And then if we run up all the way down to here, let's see, that is 3. And like I said, you can kind of carve back some of that a little bit. And then let's see, that's 4. And then, I guess this is 4, right? Because I was thinking there would be another one. Okay, yes, this would be 4. So this one's really cool too. I was looking at this one. What if you did this? You had a facade, right? This was your facade. And you had like a secondary door right here. So you had like 2 entrances going into the actual shop. So you had this as kind of like a buffer space, this little piece of rock, and we could, decorate it more and things along those lines. But if you had something like that, I think it'd be really cool. And then maybe 5 right here, which isn't fully formed yet, but eventually it will. So that is 5. And let's just say that, okay, so this is 5. We can do, I would say we could even do more on this side and another 5 over there. And of course we have the upper level. I think we totally have enough room. I'm still kind of hoping to get at least 24 shops. And I think we'll totally get there because there are areas within the build that there's unexpected places for shops. Like I'm gonna build under there, of course, and there's just extra little spots here and there. So I definitely think there'll be more than enough for hermits. That's kind of the goal, is to have more than enough. So if somebody did want to have a secondary shop, totally make that happen. That's my goal. The main goal, I suppose, is just to make sure there's a shop for everyone. But then secondary goal is maybe an extra shop or 2 if people wanted it. Let's go to the top here. And this is a spot that I'm kind of struggling a little bit with. And that is how to blend in the ceiling with this area right here. So some of the hermits are going to get on a little later, and we are going to clean up the ceilings a little bit. So clean off all these things. And then maybe from there, I will eventually get some inspiration on how to do this portion of the facade, which I do not know what to do yet. But I gotta point out, remember when we placed down these obsidian blocks at the very beginning of the project? These are literally the first blocks ever placed here. Things have changed. Oh, things have definitely changed. So let's fly down at the back here and let's kind of work on this a little bit together. So if we grab out some stone here, what I've been doing here is I've been scaffolding on up here all the way to the top here, and just slowly but surely kind of pushing in and pushing out the stone till it makes kind of a decent shape. And one thing I'm trying not to do is be repetitive, right? I don't want to make that general stone cliff facade shape that I always do repetitive. I don't want to do like, okay, I did this design right here 3 times over. Like that's my goal not to do, because this is so big. I kind of have to try my best to blend it all. There's only so many ways you can do the stone, but this is just it. You just kind of bring it in, bring it out, scaffold down, work on the bottom here. It's just like playing with clay. You just kind of sculpt it, and you try to find the natural variations on maybe how the cliff would work, where the erosion would be, maybe where a stream may have, eroded the sides a little bit, things along those lines. It's actually really fun, super relaxing to do stuff like this. It's not the most like glamorous thing in the world in Minecraft, but it's fun, right? It's fun. It's super relaxing. I think that's one of my favorite aspects about landscaping and doing these things, is that it just creates like a really relaxing environment. You're just kind of playing along, finding your way through the design. So let's just put a little bit more emphasis in this spot right here. So this is going to be a natural barrier between a facade. So if this is one right there, this is another one. And then these little spots right here are just something to kind of make a little barrier between the shops to give them a little bit more definition. And then of course, let me put this all the way across there like so. There we go. Perfect. Nice. So that's looking really good. And you know what? Maybe these aren't the most natural of barriers, but they're aesthetically, I think, pleasing enough, and they're more functional. That's kind of our main goal, is to get them functional so they block off both shops. So there'll be, of course, another one right there. Another aspect here is I've had a little bit of a problem with this beacon. It comes up really close to here, so the river's very skinny in this spot, and it's also going to get super skinny on this side right there. Let's leave that for 1 second. I want to shoot down here and show you this. So we're definitely going to have to figure out what we're going to do in this spot. Potentially, and this might be a huge potential, is we can cut back, right? If we cut way into the actual kind of cliffside here, and that'll give our water a little bit more room to breathe, and it'll look a little bit more natural than having this really tight choke point right here. So let me work on this for just a second, and I'll catch you in just 1 second. Welcome back, and we've done a little problem solving with Scar, and we've expanded out the river, which I think looks quite a bit better. So let's walk on down here. So as you can see, this area has been expanded greatly, and I think I like it, and it gives that little bit of change from the other areas that we were talking about earlier, where we don't want to repeat the same, design over and over. So in these areas, we kind of have a slope down, right? So the actual kind of rock kind of slopes downwards, whereas this kind of goes inward, it kind of bows in, and I think that is actually a really nice design, and it keeps the area from not being super repetitive, so I do like that quite a bit. So as you can see, I'm kind of building up these pieces right here, and it reminded me of something. So at Disneyland, they reopened the Rivers of America, the train, the steamboat, and all those different things. That's been closed for quite some time as they make Star Wars Land. And one of the areas that they did was they added a bunch of rock on the back of Rivers of America to make up for cutting the river in half almost. And one thing they did was they themed a lot of the rock, plants, different things along those lines to specific rivers in the United States. So the Missouri, the Columbia, the Rio Grande, different things along those lines. So I live in the Columbia River Gorge, so it's kind of cool seeing some of the rock that they did do that was inspired by the particular Columbia River. And this is where it kind of reminded me of that, is this spot right here. It's under kind of, what is it, Cape Hornish area, or is it Beacon Rock, where it has this area where the water has slowly eroded it, where it kind of like angles upwards like this. So it's kind of cool that they did that there. So it's like, hey, that's my home over there. It's kind of neat. So this is fun. This is kind of fun because you can use inspiration for those things, right? People always ask me, Scar, how do you get your inspiration? And a big thing that I always say is theme park design, because Minecraft is kind of like a themed environment, right? We're creating these artificial things similar to a theme park. So this is like an artificial underground grotto area, which was built out of nothing, similar to a theme park. So you can generate a lot of ideas by learning the ways that they build and think about design and things along those lines. And it's such a great place for inspiration. You guys always ask, how do you get your inspiration? And I always say that, and I don't know if anybody ever goes off and actually reads about some of that stuff or not, but I highly encourage you guys to. And if you do, let me know, like, hashtag theme park design. I want you to know, like, if you guys read any books or anything along those lines on it, because there's thousands of books from great, architects and designers and different things along those, set designers, engineers, all those type of things. It's just really cool. So let's put these blocks like that, just giving this area just a little bit of a change up. There we go. One last thing I wanted to mention was, did you guys hear the end rod is getting changed? They're adding a little gray piece to the bottom, so it's not the purple, which is kind of cool because they're taking what was a kind of a frustrating block, which is a very useful block. It's one of the only good lighting blocks that we have, and making it a little bit more usable for building, right? And that's really cool, and I'm very excited about that. Now, some changes maybe I'm not like a super fan of, that they're doing for the texture changes. But for that, I'm a huge fan, and it's like a huge thank you, and that just means that they're actually listening, taking feedback and all that stuff, which is really good to hear. As long as people are listening and taking in the feedback that they're getting, then I'm just more than happy to see what they do. It's when things, you know, companies or something along those lines, you know, won't listen and they don't take feedback and they just go whatever they want and it just destroys whatever they're doing. So that's no good, but it's cool that Mojang is listening heavily to everyone's thoughts and making changes to that. So that's really cool. So change-wise, what do you guys want to see that hasn't been changed yet? I've been trying to figure out in my own head, like, what do I want to see that is in Minecraft that frustrates me texture-wise? You know, granted, you know, diorite, those are like not so great. Things that I definitely don't want to see too much change is like andesite and polished andesite. I really like those blocks, and I really do like the cobblestone block. I don't really want to see that changed. For the most part, there's not a ton of things that I really want to see changed. I really want new things. I really want better lighting options, right? That's what I really want. I like the textures, but I really want lighting options. That's what I wish they were working on. So I think this is looking good. So one thing we need to do is we need to beef up this cliffside right here. It is a little scrawny, so we're definitely gonna have to work on that. But that's fine. We'll just build that up as we get up there. But I think we solved the problem of coming in here and it being way, way, way too skinny. So that's a huge change, and I'm very pleased with that. Slowly carving this out. I'm gonna finish this section out, and we'll meet you back just a second. And there it is, my friends. Our very first plot has been marked here in the community build. And this is actually one of my favorite ones. I love how it's kind of nestled back in this little corner. And of course, it is kind of off the beaten path, but we make up for it in the fact that it's got a little bit of room, you know, it's got a little bit bigger space. It's got this little area too that you could potentially use. So I like that design. Now, let's jump in here and do this real quick. So what we're doing is we're calling this level 1. And then of course, this would be plot. I'm trying to see over my microphone. It's harder than you think. There we go. So that of course is plot 2. So plot 1, plot 2, and this is a level 1. And of course, once we go up to the top and start plotting those particular plots out, that of course will be level 2. I even consider calling this like level 1A, and that level, I think we may have gotten a little overboard. So I just put it to level 1 and level 2. I think that'll make it so it's a little bit easier to figure out. And of course, this is plot. It's hard to see over my microphone. I'm sorry. It's plot number 3. There we go. And where's plot number 4? This is another one of my favorites. So of course, this is plot number 4. And this is the one that I was envisioning potentially you having, you know, more than one spot, right? Whoops. Where? Oh, you can't push enter to finish the sign. That's in modded, I guess. There we go. So yeah, we got 4, and then of course this is 4 also, and this is now 5. There we go. We've got 5 so far, ready to roll, which is exciting. Now, I don't think people should move in quite yet, because I would like to get all the landscaping done, get the pathways installed. But look at that. Oh, that just brings so much excitement to me, because we've been working on this from nearly the beginning of the season, and to see that people can finally come down here, and it's taken so long, so very long, but it's very pleasing to see things come together. And you know me, my friends, I don't work at a breakneck speed. I work at a sloth speed, but I think we've gotten something really, really cool. So now, once again, my friends, we must hit super fast build mode and complete this section down here. So hit it one more time.
Scar, don't mind another block, man. You're almost to 500,000.
What? Oh my gosh, we're 1 block away from 500,000. Oh, dude,
That's
I was
right.
about to break
That's
this
right.
block here. I've been time-lapsing almost 7 to 8 hours. I'm kind of loopy
oh my
over
God,
here.
dude, this is looking amazing around here.
It's getting pretty crazy. So this is it, Cub.
500,000, man.
Dude,
This is it.
This is the
This is the
500,000th block. Are you ready? I'm nervous. I'm personally a little nervous. This could be the slime spawner for all I know. It could be.
This is a historic milestone on the server, man. I got a whole bunch of fireworks for you.
Oh, I like the cheer. I like the hype. Can we get some hashtag hype in the comments here? And here it goes, 500,000. There it is.
Right there.
Oh
Let's
my
see it.
gosh.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
Oh
Put it
man,
down.
I'm nervous. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. This is the 500,000th block.
Oh, man.
Look at it.
Oh, right here. All right, let's see.
You want me to here? Want me to put it down on the ground? Look at it.
Oh!
Look at it. Oh my gosh.
Jeez. There we go. 500K. Congrats, man. That is really impressive, actually. Like, seriously.
Oh my gosh. That is insane. 500,000 blocks.
We gotta do something with this block, man. Like, we gotta name it and put it somewhere.
Dude, she's coming for the block. He's coming for it. Behind you, behind you.
Oh.
All the celebrating has really stirred up Bob the Cooper Building Inspector. Oh man. Alright, I gotta throw out a couple more blasts there. Oh, that feels good.
There we go.
There we go.
Congrats, man. 500,000 blocks. In just this area. In just this area.
500,000 blocks.
That's impressive, dude. That's really impressive. That's
Man.
impressive.
And I'm not even joking. I'm like super loopy right now. I'm at like, I think 7-something hours of time-lapse footage making the cliffs. But I think they're looking good.
Awesome.
I'm almost done with it too. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy.
Looking nice. It's looking nice, man.
Welcome back, and I hope you enjoyed that time-lapse of the creation of these mountains. That whole process took 3 days and about 8 hours of footage to complete these mountains, and I am so happy to say that this is our final kind of structural design. Next step is to terraform it up, add all of those plants and details that you see down along the riverbanks and of course in the trees to these mountain cliffs. We're even starting to get the ceiling cleaned up, and you guys have given me a lot of amazing ideas for the ceiling in our last episode that I've been going through, and I very much appreciate each and every one of you for those suggestions. But in the comments, for all the work that we just put in on this, can we get a hashtag never forget the big dig in the comments? I want to see that light up the comments down there. And man, I don't know, when you work on something for so long and you see it almost done, it just makes you super happy. And if you go back to the very beginning of the episode, wherein I stood right in this spot and looked out over this whole spot, like, don't worry, you can go there. I'll wait here. It's okay. You head back to the beginning of the episode and see this, and then come back and look at the, why am I throwing fireworks? And come back and see the difference. Look at this place. And once, we get the dirt lining these things, get the ceiling sorted out, oh, it's going to be amazing. And of course, the branches up on the tree. So some of these details, branches and some of the little things around the rivers and things, we can do those eventually. It's just getting these plots set up so that we can actually open the place for business. The hermits can come on down here, and I hope they enjoy the design and all the details. Man, I'm pleased with this. When you work on something so long, like, you get attached to it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start working on some of these pillars. Now, I worked on a design over there, and I'm not 100% in love with it. We can definitely make a little alterations here or there, and we can, figure out the good design for this area, right? So we can just kind of play with it, kind of see where it takes us. So I'm going to keep working on these guys, right? So we get these columns all installed and ready to go. And I'll meet you guys in just a minute and see what design we actually decided on. I might do a different design on all sides and then pick the best one out of the 4. That might be a good idea to determine which is the best design for the columns, which then go vertical from the tree. So let me work on this for just a little bit more. And there they are. The columns are installed. Now, this one is a little bit awkward because it lines up perfectly where I wanted to build a waterfall. So maybe we could still stick it back in this little corner, but it's a little bit funny how, I built up this really cool archway that goes across, which will eventually be a river, but we got a giant column there now. And that's, of course, symmetrically lined up with all the other sides, so it's not like we can just stick it over 5 blocks. That's not going to work. So, I'm not 100% sure. And I'm still kind of skeptical with the design. I think it's something we're going to work on as we go a little bit and just find what works here. Let's kind of look at some of the areas that still need work in terms of the cliffside. There is a few areas. So this is kind of where we left off in assigning our different plots. So I believe we were up to, so that is 9. And then of course that's 10. So we left off at 11. So this is plot number 11 here. So this is right where Cubfan built his waterfall design. And remember we talked about we were going to do like a little walkway down. So I've done that now. And all these pathways and all these little details are very well thought out, I hope. Like I've tried to put in a bunch of thought in the way you walk, what you see, and different things along those lines. So as you walk down here, you get to see a little pond. And then, wow, like look at that. You look out over that section and then you walk down here, which is, you know, right in front of another shop, which then can lead you down under the waterfall through here. And this, of course, leads us to, I believe, plot number 12. Now, this plot is hidden a little bit. It's kind of out of the way a little bit, but it's also really, really cool. Is you've got some extra little room here and there that you can work with. So some of the areas that are a little unfortunate, say that they're kind of shrouded under some of the cliff sides, I've tried to plus them up a little bit by adding some extra detail here and there. So then this walkway goes up here. So each of these things is hopefully well thought out, like I said. Now, remember that little spot over there where it's just dead end? What I want to do is actually do a tunnel on stream. So definitely follow me on Twitter and on Twitch to be notified when I go live this weekend, so you can watch the live streams as we kind of make our tunnels and different things like that. So that pathway right there is going to go behind the waterfall. So we'll get to finally see the backside of water. Little Jungle Cruise joke there for you. And then, of course, it'll land right here and then you'll be able to walk out this way. So I think those are all good solutions. I'm actually going to go down here real quick and show you one of my new favorite areas actually is back behind here. So I'm kind of envision that potentially in this little spot, maybe there's like a shop with some sinister intent, as it's kind of hidden away under this arch. So think of like Iskal's Devil Shop from season 4. Maybe he could take this area and do something really cool back here with that theme. I don't know, I'm just thinking aloud here, but it's right under this really cool archway. And I believe there's around 20 or so shops down on this lower level. So as you can see, each one of these faces is a different plot. Now this is my favorite over here. So these two are really good. Like these two are both solid contenders. But I think this might be, if I don't do it under the walkway there, this is going to be my spot. Like right here, you get a great view of the tree. You pop out over here and you see all the cool landscaping around. And it's kind of easy access right out of there. So there we go, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this episode. This was quite the undertaking to create these cliffs. Now our next phase is to landscape the area and make it, you know, lush and that fantasy grotto feel throughout the area, which I hope we can achieve. So if you enjoyed this episode, a like rating would be very much appreciated for all the work put in. And remember, in the comments, I want to see hashtag never forget the big dig. And until next time, this has been Good Times with Scar, and we'll see you later. And don't forget to subscribe, because you may just become scarred for life.